you are going to commit many mistakes and you're gonna feel embarrassed, and that is gonna, to many people quits. I can tell you that it was painful to go. I was consistent and I did it. And now I can tell you that people like me, people recognize me, people still, after so many years.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 74 of the Andrew Deitch podcast. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm very excited to be here with you. If this is your first time here, then welcome. I'm definitely well aware that there's a million other things you could be listening to right now. And I'm just I'm tickled pink that the sound of my voice is traveling through your ear canals right now. But on this show, I have meaningful in-person conversations with the most remarkable and fascinating people that I know. And today, I have a very special guest all the way from Mexico City. And that would be Mexican actress, host, producer, and director, Verónica Macías. I said that right, I think. But Verónica has been in showbiz for over 25 years. She's very well known in Mexico and other Spanish-speaking countries. And in the late 90s, she was the star of her own show, a candid camera show called El Balcon de Verónica. And that means the balcony of Veronica, but we get into that later. But just to try to convey the type of reach that Veronica has, I wanted to share a quick story that happened to her while we were in Florida together, just to convey the level of fame that she has. So anyways, Veronica and I, we met a few weeks ago at a conference hosted by my friend Ryan McGinn from episode 46. And the conference was in St. Petersburg, Florida. And after one of the sessions, she went out to eat with some of the other attendees, right? And it was pretty late. It was a long day, jam-packed full of value. We were all super hungry, and there's a Mexican restaurant nearby. But when they walked there, they realized that the restaurant had just closed. Bummer. I'm sure we can all relate to that. But one of the guys, I think it was my buddy Sammy Faraj, quick plug, Sammy. He's Conscious Gains on Instagram. He's killing it. But anyways, Sammy actually went back into the restaurant and told the people inside, hey, you know we have Verónica Macías with us, right? And long story short, they knew who she was. They were so excited, they actually opened the restaurant. They reopened the restaurant after they'd already closed, and they served everybody food and everything just because they wanted to meet her and take pictures with her and everything. So that is a true story that actually happened while we were in Florida. So even though a lot of people here in the States might not be familiar with her, there are a lot of people familiar with her and with her work. And this was just a really fun episode. On this episode, we talked about her story and her journey to where she is today. An amazing time getting to know her. So please, without any further ado, please welcome the amazing Verónica Macías. So I'm here with Verónica. How do you say your last name perfectly?
My name is Verónica Macías in Spanish, but you can say Verónica, as everybody says in English.
Verónica? Is that better?
Verónica, sí.
Verónica. And Verónica. How do you say the last name again?
Macías.
Macías.
Verónica Macías.
Verónica Macías.
Exactly.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, so just to give people a little bit of context, so Verónica and I just attended a conference here in St. Petersburg, Florida. But you're originally from Mexico, of course. Yes. But where do you live right now?
I do live in Mexico City. I have always lived in Mexico City.
Perfect.
Yes, and I have been working for TV, radio, all the media since I was really very young. I think that you were not even born.
Yeah.
Yes, I have been more than 25 years working in TV.
That's amazing. That's a long time, of course, like I said, because I'm 23, so if you've been working 25 years, then you've been working longer than I've been alive. More than that,
yes. I have been working in TV as a host TV shows. I am an actress too, and I am director and produce my own TV show now in Mexico City. So the Latin people who is gonna listen to this, they will know me because I have done many shows. And Latin people knows El Balcon de Verónica was very famous TV show because I used to do candid camera.
So El Balcon de Verónica?
Exactly.
So the balcony?
Yeah, exactly. So I was doing that candid camera show, and I used to be like different characters making jokes to the people with that candid camera. And that was really very famous in Mexico, in all Mexican Republic, in the United States, in Univision, in Galavisión and Univision, for Latin people. And it was really very famous. And for the Latin people that now is listening to you, because I am telling everyone to listen to you, they will know that I am now in Galavisión and Univision, and como dice el dicho, La Rosa de Guadalupe. They are shows that now are very, very famous in Mexico, in Televisa, and here in the United States, that is in Univision, for you to know. So
very
you can
nice.
See me, yeah.
So I can actually see you on Univision?
Yes.
In America. Very nice.
Yes.
So one thing that I know from you talking about, because we were at this conference with Ryan McGinn, and he was talking about personal branding and stuff, is that all the time you're like recognized on the street. Like people know who you are all the time. You're getting stopped and everything.
Yes, well, in the past it was more because, now I am learning that the television is not like that important as the things that you do, for example, or Instagram or YouTube. But of course, yes, people recognize me because I have been in TV, I told you, like
25 years more.
More, yes. So people knows me since they were like children, like boys like you that remember everything that I have done in Mexico. So yes, people recognize me, but I don't really like too much. Sometimes I feel like embarrassed. I feel like, do I have a good makeup or something?
Yeah. Because if people get a bad image of you, they're like, "Oh my gosh, look at her. She's like, whatever."
Yeah.
Because people are always going to be judgmental.
Yes, very few people, because they like me because my image on TV, for you to know, because you have not seen me, it's like very familiar, very like friendly, nice, smiley comedian, make you laugh. It's not like I have to pretend to be the most sexy and beautiful. No, that is not my image. But anyway, when you are in the street or in the beach, it's very embarrassing for me that people says, do you want to take a picture with me? I feel so embarrassed because no makeup or in bikini or something. I really feel a little uncomfortable, but I never say no. I say yes, and I smile. So, that's me.
That's awesome. So I kind of mentioned that a lot of my podcasts, I have the belief that, I see you now and, you're famous in Mexico, you've done all this stuff. But of course, you didn't always start off this way. You were just a normal person before this when you were a little girl or whatever. So take us back. How did you get your start? Where, when, how, all that kind of stuff.
Of course, yes. And I'm going to tell you that this is like very motivating for young people.
Of course.
As you, as many, many people that wants to be famous, a celebrity, to be on TV, to do this, what you are doing now. That they say or may think, I know that is impossible, I'm never going to make it. How do I do the influencers and all those things?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you that I was a regular student in college. I went to study journalism and communications. So when I was in the school, I had to do a regular homework. And I was in a very inexpensive school. My family was not wealthy, rich, so I didn't go to the best college. It was like the regular one. So I was there, and my teacher told us that we had to deliver 3 interviews. One to a famous sport guy, another to a writer, and another to a famous person. Imagine in that moment, I was 18 years old.
Did they tell you how to find these people?
Of course not.
So you had to seek them out and interview them.
Yes, and that was really very hard.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, now you are doing this and people knows you. But imagine a student, a girl that knows no one in a position that is not very good. They told me, you have to do your homework and I need this for your grades. And I had to do it. And I didn't know who, but I do remember, and I think that was a bless of God. In the moment, He put me in the correct moment. My dad was shaving in the morning, 6:30 a.m. And I was thinking, who do I do the interview? And I said, Daddy, what am I going to do for the homework? I know no one. And then in that moment, he was listening to the radio there was a very, very famous radio show that was host for one of the best, or I think that the best host TV shows men, very famous, very charismatic, nice. So he was the host of that radio show. He used to have very famous TV shows, and he was saying in the radio, come here to the show, it's alive, it's free, come and join us, come on every day at the 6:30 in the morning till 9 a.m. So when I listened to that in that moment, I said to my dad, what do you think if I go to make the interview to him? As for example, you to me, that now, for example, in Mexico, I'm famous, and you're starting, let's say that you are Mexican. So I went to see him to the radio station. I was like a girl of 18 years old, no one in the media, no one in the world. So no well dressed. I was like a little, let's say, poor. So I arrived to the radio station, and when I saw the guy, really very famous, I was like shocked, very nervous. I didn't know what to do. My heart was like beating very fast. And then he says in the commercials time, in the advertise, he says, okay, if someone wants to say a message like, hello to my family who is listening to the radio, whatever, because it was a radio show, it was like a theater. Raise your hand. So I'm going to give you a paper. So in the paper, I raise my hand. In the paper, I wrote, hello, I am a student in college of journalism. I would like to make an interview to you. So I was really very nervous. So at the moment they delivered the papers to the man, to the very famous guy, very famous really. And so he says, okay, who is Verónica? I was very nervous. So I raised my hand and he said, yes, of course, yes, when it finished. So it was really, I didn't know what to do. I had to do it for my homework. It's the only thing that I was looking for, my homework. So the show finished and I go closer this very famous guy, like a David Letterman here.
Wow.
Really, very high level. So I went next to him. I said, he says, let's go to the office. So I went to the office with my friend. So I started doing the interview. Sorry. So in the interview, the questions were, what do I do? What do the students like me can do to be a part of the media if we are not like in good universities, we don't have the contacts and everything. And I made the interview with that topic, but also as I really admired him, because he was very big person now, he's not living anymore. I mean, me say en paz descanse. Is when somebody rest in peace. So I started the interview telling him, and this, I was really interviewing him because I really admire him and he liked the interview. But I finished, I said, well, thank you very much, okay, bye. I went back to my house, I wrote the interview, I delivered my homework, but 2 days later, I really felt that I'm going to take my homework to this guy. So I arrived again to the radio station with my homework, like a girl with her father, with my homework. And I said, hello, do you remember me? Oh, yes, of course. Look, this is the interview that I made to you. So he was really very nice, patient, and I really thank that moment that he was smoking his cigarette, reading the interview. Really, that was very nice for someone who was no one in that moment.
Yeah, and he was probably really busy and
very busy, very famous, busy with a lot of bodyguard, whatever. So he was reading, he liked it. So I started going, and as he had a TV show, I asked him, excuse me, is it possible that I go to see your TV show? Yes, of course, yes. So I went to see his TV show. When I arrived to the studio of the biggest company in Mexico TV, that is Televisa, everybody knows that Televisa is the biggest company, he used to be there. When I arrived to that beautiful studio, the biggest cameras, lighting, everything was amazing. I was shocked, so happy to be there. From that moment, I really wanted to be there. And I started going, just like to look, to learn.
So you were just there, like watching them film and everything.
Yes.
And did anyone ask, like, why are you here? Like,
No. I asked him if I could go, and he said, yes, of course. So I was allowed to go because he was the boss. And I was just standing watching that different new world that was like magic. So after let's say 1-2 weeks that I was going, it was Saturdays, every Saturday. So after of going 2-3 times, that I was like, so, wow, this is amazing. I thought I'm going to ask him for a job, but I meant a job like to carry his coffee, his papers, clean his shoes, something really humble. Really, that's what I was looking, just to be there, just to look. So when I arrived, I say, excuse me, Mr. Stanley, his name is Paco Stanley, for the Latin people who remembers him. I said, excuse me, I want to ask you a question. If one day you have an opportunity of job for me to work, please let me know. I would love to work for you. But I really meant to carry your water, your coffee.
Yeah.
So he turned and saw me and he says, of course. What do you think that you are doing here? You are going to work for me. I like it, the interview, and of course you are going to work for me. And then he says, please, from now, Veronica is coming here every day. And they said, no, Mr. Stanley, if you want her every day with a special ID, you need to hire her. And so in that moment, they gave me a contract with an amount of money that I couldn't believe. That money that I never had, really. They started paying me so much money to do like learning. And I was so happy. I started going. So he told me, you have to do this for the TV. I remember that he asked me segments of 2 minutes of whatever I want to do. And I started doing 1, 2, very bad. I remember. I don't want even to remember what I did because I was learning, I was starting. But he was very patient with me because he believed, he maybe saw something in me, a potential. I was a girl of 18 now and a woman, and I can really thank that moment. So little by little, I continue. My efforts was really very painful because it was a live TV show, international, because you could see it in Mexico and in Spain and in the United States alive. So I committed a lot of mistakes, really. Who remembers that show? Is a news show, very, very famous. The name was Echo. Our boss was Jacobo Zabludovsky, one of the most famous guys in the news in Mexico, and he was international too. So I started, and now, after more than 25 years, I have been in more than 15 TV shows. I have been in soap operas. I have been in radio. I have done my own films for home videos. And I have done many successful things, thanks God. I have worked for CBN in the United States, Televisa, Univision. I have worked in many places. And I'm so happy that I could do it. And I want to do now more that's why we are here in Tampa, now in Instagram, in Facebook, in the YouTube. But I am telling you this for the young people who is listening to you, that maybe they are looking for be famous and successful, that everything is possible. I was no one, no even rich, no attractive. I was just a girl, no from a very expensive college. And I could make it, really. Yeah. So thanks God I could do it. And now, well, I am famous in Mexico and in the United States. Latin people knows me.
Of course.
Always when I am in the hotels, the people who is Latin, they say, you're Veronica. They even know me because of my voice.
Wow.
Really, they say, when
That's
I am
amazing.
speaking, yes, I am in the supermarket, and so the people turn and say, are you Veronica? I recognize you for your voice.
Wow.
Many recognize me for my voice. And they like me because my image is like very familiar, very, I used to do this candid camera. I have been a comedian too. I'm going to show you photos that you can put also.
Yeah.
I used to be like a guy, man, with mustache, and go to the streets and make jokes to the people. So everything is possible. You have to have faith and focus, and it's painful, the process. It's painful.
Yeah.
For example, you are trying to get more and more, or the friends that they are trying to do better in the internet, online, and all those things. That for me is new because I am from the other century.
Yeah. Well,
everything is possible.
Yeah. Well, one thing I wanted to pinpoint is just as hard as it was for you to make that decision to go talk to this guy, you didn't even know if you were going to get the chance to talk to him, but you went anyways because you had the assignment, right? But it would have been easy for you to just not go and tried to find something else. You hear it on the radio and you're like, oh my gosh, this guy is saying come visit me live, but it would have been really easy to be like, he's too famous, or maybe I can find someone else that's too crazy or something.
Yes.
And I think so many people are out there waiting for an opportunity, but they're not taking chances.
Exactly.
Like they're not going out and taking a risk, because it would have been very easily that you went to that thing, you were in the studio, but he didn't ask anybody from the audience for questions, or maybe he was he sat up on stage, he never talked to anybody, and you wouldn't have had the opportunity, and
Exactly. You have to be like brave. I don't know the correct word in English, but yes,
brave,
brave to go to do it. And by the way, now that you are saying that, I remember in my classroom, and I am telling you, this was in 1988, so it was a long time ago. I remember we were like 30 students.
30 in your class.
Okay, I was the only one who took the interview with a famous
I
artist.
was going to ask you that, because
Yes.
I figured that, because I've heard of a similar assignment where a teacher asked that, and most of the time people they say, I can't find anybody.
Yes, or they are like frightened, or they have fears or insecurities. I did it.
Exactly.
And I'm going to tell you, it's painful. It's painful that you have to go, but you are frightened, but you have to break that. I was like panic. My heart was beating. I couldn't even speak. I felt something that I couldn't, but I had to do it.
Yeah.
So I raised my hand. I went. I made the interview, and I pretended to be like very calm and secure, but I was really frightened.
Yeah, you were
to do
freaking
it.
out on the inside.
Yes, but that works. And now I have been working more than 25 years on TV and successful. And I have now I have my properties, my things that really. But you have to be brave to do it. And I can tell you, the word is, it was painful inside. I didn't want even to go, because this fear, I was just, you felt freaking, frightened, all those things, it hurts in your person, hurt, that I didn't want to do it, to go again.
You have to get out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
It was uncomfortable.
Exactly.
But once you were there, and once you made the decision to go on stage, because he said, Veronica, where is Veronica? And you had to go up there, because you were going to look, you're like, I'm going to look, if he calls my name and I don't go up there, I'm going to regret it forever.
Yes. No, and I'm going to tell you, when I started, as you and many people that is beginning to do things, you are going to commit many mistakes, many errors, is correct?
Yeah.
Many. And you're going to feel embarrassed. You're going to have that in your head. You are not going to sleep well, because you're going to say, how silly, how stupid, how it is. And that is going to many people quits. And they say, no, I don't want anymore. I don't want to be like embarrassed or make the ridiculous or murder. Many people stop and continue to another thing. I do remember that I committed many mistakes. It was a live TV with cameras, lights, makeup, everything. And I committed many mistakes. Many times I didn't want to go back. I just wanted to quit and don't go. And I said to my parents, crying, I don't want to go, because I was frightened. I didn't have the experience of being there. Now, if I am in front of cameras, I can do it. But at that moment, I didn't want. It was new. Yes, really. And I'm going to tell you, in that moment, I was very, shy girl, introvert is correct?
Yeah, introvert, yeah.
Very, very. I was in the school, I didn't raise my hand to ask a question to the teacher. When the teacher used to say, okay, what is this, the question, the answer? I knew it, and I didn't raise my hands, because I was like a very shy person. Now imagine, in TV, the most famous TV show, me seated there, I had to do it. And it was, I can tell you that it was painful to go. I didn't want, but I went. I was consistent, and I did it. And now I can tell you that I do very good my work, my job. People likes me, people recognize me, people still, after so many years, call me to do these TV shows. I act. Now, I not only act or host, now I am producer.
Yeah.
I direct.
Because you know what you like, you know what needs to happen.
I know how to do a TV show now after so many years. So you just keep doing, keep going. And it's painful in the way, but you be consistent and be brave. And if you want something, just keep doing it. You are going to be failure, commit mistakes, but you are going to make it if you are consistent in that.
Yeah. Well, one thing I've heard is like, if there's no opportunity to fail, there's probably no opportunity to succeed. Because if you stay doing the same thing, you're probably not going to really get anywhere valuable, but you're still in your comfort zone. You're like, okay, I'm just going to keep working my job or keep being a student or whatever. But you have to put yourself out there, because when you put yourself out there, you're vulnerable, and you might get hurt, or someone might take advantage of you or whatever. But also, if you never put yourself out there, you're never going to be able to take advantage of opportunities.
Yes.
And one of the guys on my last podcast, he said poor, like POOR, stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. So like if you're poor, it probably means that their opportunities have come your way and you decided not to take it or whatever.
You have to take the opportunity in the correct moment. Really, when I had that homework and I listened the radio and I had the opportunity to go and do it, I didn't know that was going to be famous.
Of course not.
I didn't, but I went, and it was.
You were just doing your homework.
I was just doing my homework, exactly, and then I asked for a job, but I was. And look.
But you thought you were gonna like holding the coffee and holding his briefcase and all that kind of stuff.
Then I do remember.
So your first job though, so they offered you a contract and all that. So what did you started working on the show? So when did they start putting you in the show? Like how did that happen? Wow.
Immediately.
So immediately he was like, you're going to work for me, but you had no experience in...
Nothing. But he trusted in me.
Because he saw something.
Yes, he saw something.
Did you ever ask him like what he saw or why he chose you or anything?
When I started to be popular, like famous, not that famous, but very popular, that people recognize that I like her job and everything. I remember it was other girls in that as TV shows, in that it was like a news shows, but they were not successful. And after a time, he told me, I saw something in you. I knew that you were going to do it. This guy, this famous person, told to my mother, because my mother said, thank you very much to help my daughter. And he says, no, it's no thank you. Since I met her, I knew that she had something. She had the talent to do it, but I didn't know. But so you have to take the opportunity, the risk of doing it. I'm going to tell you something else. When I was working in that TV show, I committed many mistakes. I used to do
like what kind of mistakes? Like you'd mess up or like what?
No, yes, of course. I cannot explain to you in English fully because the word that I said was really bad. But when I never spoke too much because I was very frightened. So the guy told me, please, Veronica, say something, because I was just like sitting like a lamp, like a flower, and laughing of his jokes because he was a comedian. So when I spoke, I committed a very big mistake, like something that is like the word was not even existed, and I say incorrectly. So I started. It was really horrible because he told me off horrible after that. How you say that? And I do remember. And as I came from a poor family, I used to live in a poor area. I didn't speak correct Spanish. I speak like slang, like word, like that. So I used to speak like bad. So he has to correct me. So he was really helping me, but he told me off, he screamed to me, even said sometimes bad words that hurts me. But I was crying, but I said, no, I want to go. I was consistent. I remember that my segments, he used to give me 2-3 minutes of segment in 1 hour, very famous TV show. Was nothing
What kind
brilliant.
Of segment? What were you doing?
Horrible. Like at the beginning was the most horrible and boring. Nobody watched them. I think that when they say, let's go to the segment of Veronica, everybody or change the channel or used to go to the toilet or go to a coat to have something to drink. But because my segments were not brilliant at all. So everybody in the studio, when it was my segment, it was like painful. This is the word, really, that everybody started talking or having a cigarette or whatever. Nobody was listening or watching what I did. And you know what? I wanted something that was like brilliant, to shine, to call the attention of the people. And I was with the time, what do I do? And I said nothing to no one. I no even asked to permission of do it. So that was the thing that took me to the
the next level or something.
Yes, of everything in my career. I'm gonna tell you. I do remember that I went to the street with a camera, and I don't know here in the United States, but in Mexico, when you are in the school after primary school, that is like the next school before high school. Middle school. All of the students use uniform. It's green and gray. You use uniform. You know that it's green and gray, and you go in this middle school. So I used to go to the streets in a park. Suddenly, I saw like a couple there kissing, and another there, and I said, these guys didn't go to the school. They missed the school, and the parents didn't know. So I arrived with my camera and my microphone. I said, hey, excuse me, what's your name? And when they saw the camera, my name is Lupita or whatever.
They said a fake name or whatever?
Yes, I said, and you didn't go to school? No, I didn't. And do you know that your mother is watching you in your TV? When they said it was very funny to see their faces, cover their faces, run away immediately, and everybody was running. It was very, very fun to see that. So I said, I'm gonna do it again. I went to another park, and there were this couple of this middle school. Is it correct?
Middle school, yeah.
They were like, they say 15, 16, kissing or whatever, and I arrived with the camera. They didn't know. Hey, hi, how are you? You didn't go to school today, and do you know that your mother and your father are watching you on TV? It was so fun to see them jump and run and cover their faces that they didn't want to know. Imagine the parents were going to know that they missed school to be kissing with the boyfriend. So when I edited that, I put it on the TV. I say nothing to no one, not even to my boss. I say, okay, everybody said, well, let's go to the segment of Verónica. So I said, let's see if it works. When I broadcasted to national TV, I put it.
So it was live and nobody knew what was going to happen.
Nobody, and it was live. I was looking to the people to see what happened because there was like audience there, my boss, the famous people, everything. Everybody started watching the TV, everybody, the monitor, everybody, and I started laughing and clapping, very good clapping. It's the first time that I did something successful. They was clapping and finished, very good, great, have fun. Everybody laughing and clapping. Wow, the first time I said, this is the way. This is the path I must follow. Next day I did the same, but then I'm going to tell you, this is a very great beginning. What I did, I was very young. I was 18 years old. If I look young today, imagine when I was 18 years old. I went and I found my uniform that I am telling you.
Oh my gosh, the green and the gray.
Exactly. And with no makeup, still 18 years old, I look very young. So I said to the guys of the camera, and nobody told me how to do it. I said, you stay here, give me a microphone like this. And I used to go
like a wireless microphone so you could go away.
Of course.
Yeah.
So they were recording, and I went to these boys that they were like 15, 16, and they liked me. So I arrived very nice and said, hi, how are you? No, I am Michael or Juan Robert. You didn't go to school, and why? And I started like, do you invite me an ice cream? So I started like this joke. And then I edit everything and I say, you know that your mother is watching you on TV because we are recording. This is a hidden camera, candid camera. This is the first joke that I did, the candid camera, the first one. Nobody told me how to do it. Nobody told me to do it. I didn't have director producing, no one. I did it. And when I put it on TV, that day, it was no one even, it was alive. I put, okay, let's go. Today, I went to do this. When I put it on the TV and broadcasted, this very famous guy paid attention. The people paid attention. When it finished, everybody was laughing and clapping. Very good, very good. I said, this is what I must do. I keep doing that. And then, this famous guy that gave me the job, they was fired of the station.
Yeah.
They didn't have a job.
The famous guy?
Yes, and then guess what? The owner of the company, one of the most million men in Mexico, the owner, I went to ask the opportunity. He gave me my own TV show of candid camera.
Wow.
Famous in all Mexican Republic, very famous.
So they turned your segment into a show.
In a show of 1 hour. I used to be the producer, and at that time I was 25 years old.
Wow.
Producer, director, the ideas were mine. I act, I hosted, everything was the most successful thing that I have ever done. I converted very famous in Mexico and in the United States by Univision with this El Balcon de Verónica. I have to say.
Why was it called El Balcon de Verónica?
El Balcon de Verónica.
Because you said it was like a balcony of Veronica, right? That's what it means? Was it because the camera was on the balcony?
No, there is a meaning of that. In Spanish, when you say balcón, te voy a balconear, I'm going to balcony you, is that I'm going to show something that you are hiding. Okay? So, you didn't go to school, I'm going to balcony you. Te voy a balconear means that, everybody's looking what you are doing. So, it's el Balcón de Verónica. It's like Verónica is going to show what you are doing bad.
Like airing your dirty laundry or something.
Exactly.
I see.
Yes.
So you're going to catch them doing something they don't want people to see.
Yes.
And people love that because
because
it's
I can
funny.
tell you, I don't know how to dance, I don't know how to sing, but I know how to do candid camera. I can tell you, the best TV show of candid camera that Mexico has had. The best, because even now you can see it in YouTube.
Yeah.
Now everybody remembers that. I have done many things. I have done soap operas. I have done many, like 15 TV shows, but no one remembers me because of these things. The people remember Verónica because El Balcón de Verónica. 2 years I did it. They repeated 7 times in the United States. In Mexico it was very famous. But I did it because I took the risk of let's do something different. That's what I want. I wanted to do something different, something to shine. I was not going to be like the average. Like all the girls that just go to see to do what
they're just a pretty girl doing something like to look pretty or whatever.
I wanted to do something that shines, something different. I wanted.
And like you said, you were pretending to be a man, like wearing a mustache or like doing goofy stuff.
If you see all my candid cameras, I was not looking like beautiful. No, nothing. I used to be like the poor people asking for money in the street, asking for tacos, making tortillas, or really like looking ugly, poor, this. And that was very successful.
It's funny.
Very successful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So so that went for like 7 seasons, you said? For seven shows, 7 years, whatever.
Yes.
So, and then after that, you were like, everyone wanted you to be on soap operas and all this other kind of stuff. So, what was it like transitioning from being from this goofy, silly, candid camera to like a more serious, like drama or something? I'm sure it was a lot different.
I miss a lot to do the candid camera thing because I loved it and people loves it really very much. But this is a new stage and I am happy to do it. I am called very, very often to do this series that is now in TV. In Univision, Galavisión in the United States and in Mexico is very famous. The name is Como Dice El Dicho. This show is
What is El Dicho?
El Dicho is, how do you say El Dicho is the saying. Como Dice El Dicho, this translation is...
Because como se dice is like how do you say, right? So it's like... But El Dicho,
there are many sayings. I don't know how to explain in English.
I see.
The way that the name of the show is Como Dice El Dicho. And it's a series, daily series, and they have like famous people invited, and you act with the beginners, with the teenagers and everything. So I have been invited so much, and now I do different things. I used to make people laugh, now I make them cry. It's different. What I am doing here, I am now the mother. Always they call me like the mother, and I have to cry because the boy one day is die, someone is in the jail or something. Very drama. So they say, Verónica, we need tears here. So are you ready? It's really a challenge. Okay, you have to concentrate.
So you have to actually cry?
And I do. Many people, actors that is like fake, put like special drops or big to cry, but I do really cry. So you have to prepare yourself and do it professional. When they say, Verónica, the director says that you need to cry in this one, in this scene. Are you ready? I say, give me 1 second, okay? So I prepare myself that you feel what you are going to do, okay? When you feel that the tears are coming, they say, okay, I'm ready. She's ready, okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. You start acting, and as soon as I have the first one, I start crying and crying and crying, and I do everything and all the drama. You scream, you cry, you everything. So now it's another stage of my career, of my my work.
Yeah.
I used to make people laugh. Now I make them cry.
So what do you think about when you have to fake? Well, because you're not fake crying, you're actually crying. So what do you think about? Like,
There are many...
do you think about what's happening in the show, or do you think about like your own sad things?
Look, as I am a mother, I have 2 children, one of 11 and one of 13. Always when I am a mother in the acting, it's involved that something happened to the boy, to the son. So it's not good to do it because you damage yourself. You go like it's something.
You have
emotional.
to go like to a bad place, kind of.
So you imagine that is real, or that something is happening to your family, or you remember something that is painful for you, really, that makes you cry. So I got to that moment. My mind goes to that moment that makes me cry, or I imagine. And it's not good to your emotions that something is happening to your sons or to your, that is real or whatever. So it's painful, and I take that to my stomach, to my heart, and I start just crying. And with the first tear, I start crying, and I cannot stop. I cannot stop.
So once you start crying, you just you can't stop, and
I cannot stop. And in fact, I am a very sensitive person.
Yeah.
I am an actress, and my personality is that I am very sensitive, and I can cry easily. So I do that. Now I'm very happy because I scream, I cry, I hit people, and it's another stage.
Yeah.
So I like to do it, but what I really enjoy in my life, I will ever miss El Balcon de Verónica, to make this candid camera. People ask me to do it again. It's very hard. It takes really all your life to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to do
That's
it.
what I was going to ask you, because I don't know if you're, because right now, you're trying to kind of like figure out like social media and all this stuff. I feel like if you made some sort of like mini show, sort of, or like, because a lot of people on YouTube, they do prank videos. Have you seen a lot of like prank videos?
Yes,
like,
of course.
People are always like messing with people in the street, or like a lot of them are guys like doing stuff trying to like pick up girls, or like they show up in a Lamborghini or something and like talking to girls or whatever, and it's like all these hidden camera things. And like people love that stuff. But I mean, it got kind of overplayed because a lot of times the prank videos, they would hire people to be crazy and like have a fake reaction, and so people got exposed because they were fake.
You are very correct. I should do it. People tell me that to do this for YouTube and everything. I'm going to accept something now that I am a mother, that I have other responsibilities. I don't have like the time to do it. I am doing other stuff. I should have done it a long time ago. I should do it. I'm going to think about it, because really people ask me to do it. People ask me to do it. And people, you know what people says to me? Veronica, you are a YouTuber before YouTube existed.
Yeah, it's kind of true. It's true.
Yeah.
You know what is interesting? I know like, the platform Vine, it got erased. Like Vine doesn't really exist anymore, but Vine was a platform where you shared like 7-second videos. So it was just 7 seconds. It was really fast.
Okay.
And so what people would do, they would do silly things like what you would do, but they would hold the camera like they were doing selfie things and mess with people like in the supermarket or something. And they would say something ridiculous and just get the reaction. And the reaction was basically like the whole video.
The reaction is the best.
The reaction is the best. Yes, and so since it's only 7 seconds, it would just be the first part was them like saying something stupid or saying something ridiculous and just getting their reaction. And that's like the whole video.
Yes, I do remember.
It's kind of crazy.
My segments used to last on TV 2 to 3 minutes. To do that, I took like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, because
you have to edit it down to the best part.
Yes, to the best.
And you have to probably talk to like 10 people to get one good
or
reaction.
More,
yeah,
or more.
Yeah, of
yes.
course.
I do remember when I was in the supermarket and people, you know that when they go with their car, how do you call it?
The shopping cart or the buggy or whatever.
Exactly. So the car was almost full, but when people turns to choose the chicken or whatever, I used to go behind to take this car.
Yeah.
And I took it like I was very secure to take it.
Yeah, like just confident, and you just took their cart.
Yes, and when they turn, I said, where is it? And they are like, hey, this is mine. And I was like saying, No, it's mine. No, it's mine. No, it's mine. No, this is my chicken. Did you pay it already? No, so this is from here, so it's mine. So this reaction, no, but it's mine. So I start fighting in the supermarket because it's very funny to see the reaction of the people.
Yeah.
Someone say, oh, it's okay. Someone gets angry, and when they get really angry to take them to the edge, say, hey, don't worry, this is the camera, whatever. You're in the Balcon de Verónica. So it's very fun that really I did, I don't know, hundreds of jokes, hundreds really.
So after once you got to like the 7th season, like towards the end, I'm sure that when you went to go mess with people, they recognized you, right?
Yes.
And so then it became harder because you were famous for messing with people, that when you tried to mess with them, at first they're like, what? And then they're like, oh no, you're Veronica from the show.
Like,
so like,
I know
and then
you.
it's
You're
like, oh man,
yes.
I have to find someone else who doesn't know me.
No, and also, but I used to do like costumes, like this mustache or this the hair, or no makeup at all. And in the TV, the makeup. Yes, it was really the best part of my work in my life, the Balcon de Verónica. I miss it, and
And you were like 25 to like 32 or something because it was like 7 years.
To 27 and a half, but they repeated it 7 years.
Okay.
I taped like 2.5 years.
Okay, nice. But they aired it for like 7 years, like you said.
They repeated and repeated and repeated and repeated because people likes it a lot. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, really. You made me now to remember beautiful moments, and you know what? I may gonna listen to you to do it again.
You know, like because that I think when. Like I said, like you were saying, YouTube is the new thing, but you were like a YouTuber before YouTube.
That is very fun. They tell me very, very often, you are a YouTuber before YouTube existed.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand that. Now I can't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because a lot of people do kind of similar things, like they're messing with people in public or whatever. And now, especially, I'm sure back then the cameras were larger and you had to like hide them in weird places. Now, like, cameras, you can hide them in such tiny places.
Yes.
Like you can have such small cameras like hiding in very obvious places almost, but since the camera is so tiny that you can easily do it more.
Easily. I do remember when I used to hide the camera. It was this big camera. So before, I am telling you that this was in 1995, 1996.
Yeah.
It was a big cameras. So I remember we used to take a van, and in the van we put like a black fabric, a black piece of fabric, and cut a
square to shoot the video through, and they would zoom in probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now you can have these little cameras that we are seeing with Ryan in this
you could have like a little GoPro or something and have a small microphone on your shirt so you have the good audio, but the video you can record.
That would be so easy to do now.
Exactly.
So easy, yes.
Exactly, because that's the problem, like with big cameras, and now there's cameras everywhere, and people are less freaked out, because I think before also, like when you got started, if people knew they were on camera, they might freak out even more. But now there's cameras everywhere, so you know, like if people see someone taking a selfie or whatever, they're like not really afraid. But maybe before it was even more crazy to be on camera, because if you were on camera, that meant you were going to be like on TV or something, and people would be more scared. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you something else that was very fun. I don't know if here in the United States you have done it. Maybe, yes. But I started doing some very funny interviews in the street with the camera here, with the microphone.
Yeah.
You know who Leonardo da Vinci?
Of course.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you what happened. I went to the street like a very... executive well dressed and everything, with the microphone. I went to the people and I say, hey, good morning, how are you? Do you like the football? Yes, I like the football. Why do you think that they are bringing the very famous football soccer player from Italy, Leonardo da Vinci, to Mexico to play here with us? So people, wow, from Italy, yes, Leonardo da Vinci. Well, we are so happy. Welcome to Mexico. And I repeated, Leonardo da Vinci, say please here to the camera.
Welcome.
Yes, and the people was, welcome to Leonardo da Vinci that is coming to play to Mexico. I used to do that. It was very fun.
That's amazing. Fun. That's very clever.
Yes,
people now that I've seen, they do similar things. Like Jimmy Kimmel does like similar things on TV. He did one where he was talking about a music festival, and he would say a band that didn't exist, and he'd be like, oh yeah, are you really excited to see the Flying Leopards or whatever, you know, like something stupid that wasn't a real band, and they're like, oh yeah, I've heard of them, I'm really excited to hear their new band.
Exactly, that's what I used to do. That was very popular. I do remember other that I used to say, Well, in Mexico.
Yeah.
Excuse me, what do you think that Mexico government is so nice that for poor people that cannot travel to Canada, they are bringing to Mexico the Niagara Falls. So you can enjoy them, see them for 1 week. What do you think? I said, well, that is going to be amazing. I'm going to go. Where is it going to be? In downtown, they are going to put the Niagara Falls. And so it was very funny to see that people just answer for answer.
And because they know they're on camera, they're just gonna go along with anything you say too, because they're like, oh yeah, of course this person's on TV, of course they're telling me the truth or whatever. They don't think they're gonna be like a prank or whatever.
And I did things like that very, very often, and people always answers funny things.
Of course.
That they are bringing the pyramids from Egypt to Mexico, and this Teotihuacan, we are gonna do an exchange of pyramids, Teotihuacan to Egypt, and Egypt is gonna send us all them. And
they're like, wow.
Yes, wow, this is gonna be very good because I don't have the opportunity to travel, but to go to see how much is gonna cost and when. So the people answers is very fun. Well, that's what I used to do for the people that is listening to your podcast.
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, because like I said, I think that, because I'm sure people have asked you like, oh, do it again.
Yeah.
But now, it's like a little bit easier because, you can hide a camera somewhere or like be...
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you know what another thing that people do, I've seen is like they have a backpack that has the hole cut out. So like they can put their bag down and it doesn't look like, but there's a camera hidden in the bag. Or like, even for example, if you had like a little GoPro like Ryan has, like the little tiny ones, and like hid it in like a fake bottle or something like that, and just put the bottle down so it looks like a bottle but it's like filming. I don't know. But I feel like now there's so many more opportunities to hide cameras in funny places that you could...
Now it would be easier, much more easy.
Especially like in the supermarket or something, because like if you were doing, like you said, you steal somebody's cart, you could like in the aisles put something on a shelf, put the phone in the shelf, and then mess with people. I've seen people do that all the time, especially in supermarkets or in the mall or like whatever.
Yes, that is. I am gonna do it. Really.
Good.
For you, I'm gonna do it.
Good. I want to see a modern version of how you do it again.
That's a modern version, exactly.
And because also, I think like since people know you from that back in the day, if you even did like a few of them now, modern, people would be like, "Oh my gosh, she's back!" Kind of,
exactly,
kind of like freak out a little bit about that. That'd be pretty interesting.
Yes, exactly. Because many people, of course, of my age, but younger people, tells me, I used to see you when I was a boy. For example, they were like 7. Now they must be like what, like 30 years old.
Yeah.
They really, men of 30 years old, let's say, they say, I used to see you on TV when I was 7.
Wow.
Really, that makes me feel like old.
Makes you feel old, but
I don't look old.
No, you don't look old. Definitely.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Okay, so you said that you kind of made the transition, then you started working in more dramas and stuff like that, and then you started, now you're producing your own shows and everything. What is like different about all that? Of course, because when you're behind the camera, it's a lot different than being in front of the camera, you know how to act, but directing someone else to act, like how does that translate? What's different and how has it been?
I have done that for many years already. I love it. I like to do it. Of course, I like to be in front of the camera, but I also know how to direct, to tell them to make the jokes. I like comedy, to tell them how to do it, when to start, when to cut, and where I should put the camera so I can see the faces, to show the clothes, everything. So I like to do it, and I like to be very perfect in everything, that everything is funny, everything is perfect, and I don't like that, it's okay, next one. No, I like that everything is very well done. Mm-hmm. I like to direct, I like to produce, but I still, of course, and I will forever love to be in front of the camera.
Very nice. So when you're directing somebody, you're directing professional actors, so they know what to do, of course. But like for me, because I've started to help people make videos, sometimes it's hard to get people to act a little bit more excited than they normally would, because a lot of times people are like, "Hi, my name's Andrew," and
you
hi,
have
blah,
to
blah.
tell.
You have to
I do it for they to see. I do it so they can learn how to. Because if you tell it, no, do it more with more punch, or do it with, no, you have to do it. That's what I do. I say I do it so they can see me. Because when I am acting, also I have a director, and he tells me how to do. Or I said, excuse me, director or master or whatever you teacher, how you call him. It's different. Can you do it? Can you tell me how? And they tell you exactly. Or if I don't do it correctly, they start, for example, when it's some drama, they say, no, Veronica, you have to look really angry and speak more and be more serious. And they do it exactly what like screaming. So what I do in my mind, I just copy what they are doing. I copy exactly the intention, the tone of voice. I try to do exactly what they want. So then I learn how to direct people. So when I am doing something funny and I want something different, I say, no, look, let's do this. I want this, that you arrive and say in this moment, and you turn, and so I can tell people how to do. That's my way to direct someone.
Yeah, that's important, because I think also so in order to be a good director, you also kind of have to be a good actor, so you can show people exactly what you want.
Yes.
Because I think that's a problem with a lot of people that like are starting to make videos, or maybe they're kind of more into the technological side or the editing side, but then they want to start making their own stuff and they're directing people, but they're not very good at like acting. So they want to be behind the camera because they don't like acting. But like you're saying, if you want to be a good director, you almost kind of have to be a good actor as well to show people what you want.
Exactly. And if I don't like, again and again and again, and I don't care if they have to do it 11 times, but it has to be perfect, so I can show it on TV and people is laughing or likes. Yes, I again, no, I don't want this. Do it again. No, I don't want this. Do it again. Again, no, do this. So it has to be good in the moment. So that's the only way to be successful, to try to do everything with excellence. And I am very perfectionist. Maybe it's not that good, but I prefer.
No, that's good, because, you know, it's, I think, especially with creating content for like the internet, sometimes people they see it as like, nobody's gonna watch this, so I don't care. But like your stuff, you knew it was gonna be on TV. You knew that millions of people were gonna watch, so you like have to make it perfect as you can, and because you knew there's an audience. And I think a lot of people, when they're starting out, they're like either really perfectionist and it's like almost too good, because it's like, you're spending a lot of time and probably like 12 people are going to watch this, so like don't worry so much. But then there's some other people that like don't put enough effort into it, because they're like, like 5 people are going to watch this anyway, so why does it matter?
No, but I'm going to tell you, for the people who does things for internet, in TV, if you do something, just you saw it last week and that's it. But in internet, it's forever. You keep that forever. So maybe now 5 people saw you, but next year or in 5 years, they can watch what you did before. So do everything perfect, because what you do in internet will be there forever. That's
true. That's very true. And I think also, like, with the internet, a lot of times it's changing all the time. So people are like, it's not a big deal. But you're right, everything lives on forever.
Yes.
So like if you make YouTube videos, people are going to go back and be curious about your first episodes. Same thing with the podcast. Like I knew that when I put out the first 8 or 10 episodes, I knew that those episodes were probably going to be more popular than like the 20th one, because maybe people want to go all the way back. Like, oh, I wonder, now he's pretty good, but like, what was the first one like?
Yes.
And so I knew that the first one had to be really good, because I knew that a lot of people would want to like go back and listen.
They are just gonna open the server, the internet, and they are gonna find, and maybe they don't know that was your first one. And they think
might listen to that one.
Yes, anyways. So you have to do everything with excellence, everything with quality, with perfection, because people is gonna listen. If you want to be successful, you have to do it like that.
Yeah. So to go back for a minute, so when you were in school, that's when you got your big break and you got hired and everything. So did you finish college? Or?
Yes, of course, yes. I used to work and study at the same time. I used to go to the school very early in the morning, to the college. And then after that, I went to the TV station, but I didn't have enough money to get like a car.
Yeah.
They started paying me well, but I started buying clothes and makeup because I didn't have nothing. So I used to go in the in the metro, in the subway, and I was with the makeup and everything. But yes, I started like that, and I finished my college, journalism and communication. Yes.
Wow. So when you were in that class and nobody else interviewed the famous person, what did they say when you were able to get the famous person? Were they all freaking out, or like, did they care, or what happened?
At the moment, they were like envious. And then when I started working at the TV, more envious, of course.
So they knew that you got the job after because of that reason.
Of course, yes. And I was on TV. Yes.
So you were on TV while you were still in college?
Yes, of course.
So were people like freaking out about that, or like?
Yes, but I didn't care, because as I was very focused in the work, I used to go to the school and then to work. So I really didn't care. I don't even remember the comments, or I don't remember one comment, by the way, because for the TV, I was the makeup, the hair, and everything. But to the school, I just woke up as a regular student and went, no makeup, whatever. And I remember that I used to do mean comments like, Verónica, what is the glamour? Do you say the glamour the same in English?
Yeah.
What is the glamour? What did you like? And what is the fashion? And what is the makeup? They were like little mean. I didn't care. I was just going to the school. I have to finish the school, but I went to work. So my mind was focused on the work and everything. I didn't care. I finished college, and after the years, they used to call me from the college, that is the university in Mexico, UNAM, la Universidad Nacional Autónoma de México. They called me to give conferences.
Wow.
To the students.
Did that feel weird?
To motivate them.
Yeah.
And they were like, wow, it's Verónica Macías, because I used to go to motivate them, as I am doing now, telling people. I used to say, yes, you have to be brave, you do this. I was here in the school as you are here, like as students, one of millions, but if you are brave, you do it. So I started going to give conferences in the same college I was studying in.
Did the teacher, the professor that asked you for this assignment, did you like thank them for like making you go do that, or?
They felt very proud of me.
That's amazing.
Proud, yes. And
I'm sure.
Yes. And after the years, his name was Saul, because he's already also, rest in peace. He used to call me to go to his class after many years, to tell people what happened in his class.
Wow.
That was really very nice, to go back to school and to go to the students, to the classroom, and tell them, I used to study here as you are. And people said to me, like, wow, I was very famous in that moment. Well, I am, but I was more because I have my own TV show, the Candid camera. And they were, it's Verónica Macías. And I said, well, I was a student as you are here seated. And when you have a homework, just do this. And I used to tell them.
It was good for his class, because he said, hey, when you do the homework, you never know what can happen.
You never know. And happens to me.
That's amazing. So now that, like you said, you're a mother, a lot of stuff has happened since then. Your career has been really long and successful. So currently in Mexico City, what are you doing on Are you still working in TV? You said you're directing.
Yes.
So what are you doing right now? What are your current projects?
I have now a TV show every Saturday and Sunday. It's not alive. I film once a month 4 TV shows. That is for every weekend. They broadcast it every Saturday and repeat it on Sunday, 10 a.m.
So you record all 4 episodes in one day?
Yes.
Do you change your outfits for each episode so it looks different?
Yes, of course, yes. And I have my makeup artist that help me with the makeup to match with the wardrobe. I have a fashion person who gives me the wardrobe, and I always take comedians with me. So the show is very fun, and I produce, direct, I host a TV show, and I do everything. In one day, I do 4 TV shows, but once a week I go and do the post-production of the TV show, the edition. I love to be in the edition, the post-production. I am in the TV show till it's finished. Everything. I always till the end of the work. I am not like, I do it, okay, let's go. No, I am always looking that everything is perfect. The lights, the names,
the titles on the bottom of the screen or whatever.
For example, the media of the actors, that's the Facebook, the Instagram, the telephone numbers. When I say call in this moment because we have a promotion and the numbers.
So what kind of show is it? It's like it's a talk show kind of thing. You talk to people, or what kind of show do you host?
It's a 30-minute show. The name is Balcon de Verónica. That means be careful with Verónica.
Okay.
Yes, it's
Aguas?
Aguas. Aguas is like water, but in Spanish is aguas con Verónica. Is like, be careful, she's coming again.
Okay.
That means aguas is when something is going to happen, someone says, aguas, is be careful. Okay. My sponsor is a brand of water, so that's why I said aguas con Verónica. So it matches perfectly. I give the name to the show. I make the copyrights of the name. So I produce the show. I direct it. I invite the people. I pay them to go. I put the lights and everything is ready. So I arrive. I do it, but I tell them what to do. I decide what to do. Everything. So I go to the post-production and I edit and I see what is funny, what is not. I cut. It's an interview with funny people, with comedians, very famous comedians in Mexico, very good. We have talented people in Mexico. The show is sponsored for this water company.
That's amazing. Yeah, because also I know that, of course, the Latin community, like Spanish speaking, like there's a lot of audience for that, not just in Mexico, but there's so many countries that speak Spanish. So like I know some famous YouTubers that like they do videos in English and in Spanish or whatever, and they like double their audience because they're in Spanish. So of course, like if you have a show in Spanish, it's not just famous in Mexico, but people all around are, I'm sure, watching it. So when you have your show, obviously, like you said, it airs every weekend, right? You said Saturdays?
And Sundays at 10 a.m.
Okay, nice. So people like wake up and they watch you in the morning or whatever.
Yes, and of course I put in the Twitter and Instagram, watch me, it's ready and don't miss it. And I post the photos with the very famous people, always famous comedians. I love comedians. I love comedy. I like people to be happy, to laugh.
Of course.
Yes, I like that.
Me too. So on the show, you're like talking with them and making jokes and like talking about what they do and stuff like that.
Yes, and
is it stand-up comedians or like actor comedians?
Both. And in fact, it's very easy for me because they have already their routine. They present themselves in bars, in shows.
They have like a 5-minute thing or 10 minutes or whatever.
1 hour.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying on your show they do it for like...
Well, what I do, they have already the routine. So I ask them, what do you want to talk about? You tell me of drunks or your grandmother or your... So they have already the routine. So they tell me, okay, Vero, you are going to ask me here about my holidays because I'm going to tell you a joke. So I pretend that I don't know and say, well, I am here with this comedian. Well, tell me, have you gone on holidays these days?
And then he has a whole 10 minutes about the holidays or whatever. Okay.
So I pretend that I don't know, but of course I do everything before that. So that's what I am doing now. And also the acting in the series, como dice el dicho, that I am always crying. They call me to cry because I know how to cry. That's what I am doing.
That's awesome. That's very nice. So obviously people in Mexico know who you are, but for people in America, most of my audience is in America. So if they want to watch you in America, you said they can watch you on Univision,
Galavisión, or in YouTube you can find me like Aguas con Verónica.
Very nice.
Yes,
yeah, I'll make sure to
Verónica.
link everything in the notes and everything.
I'm going to let you know. My name is Verónica Macías, and you can put there my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook, Verónica Macías. So I will be very happy to have an English-speaking audience.
Of course. So I was going to say, normally at the end of the podcast, I ask, is there anything else that, you might want to mention or anything that we haven't talked about that you think might be interesting to people or anything else that people want to hear?
Just to repeat to all of you that you are listening, that really keep going, doing what you want to do. Don't quit. Just keep going and do not quit. It's very hard.
If people want to get into the industry that you're in, of course, TV and all this, people want to be famous and all this kind of stuff. But, like, you were willing to just work for free, or you were just willing to like, hey, can I hold your coffee? And then of course you got offered a different job. But now you could say that it's a different landscape. It's harder for people to maybe make it in or whatever. What kind of advice do you have for those young people that want to get into TV or whatever?
Tell them that nothing is impossible. Nothing. It doesn't matter if you are not handsome or beautiful or rich, or you didn't even go to the school. That nothing is impossible. You just put in your mind what you want to do and take the risk of do it. Be brave. It doesn't matter if you are frightened and you think, no, I am not going to make it. You just do it. Take the risk. If you, well, we say in Spanish, the no, we have it already. So look for the yes. Maybe you have the yes. The no, we have it already. You are not going to make it, well, we know it. But go and you have to shine. Look for doing something that everybody wants to look, to turn to look and be happy to clap and look for what you want to do and keep going and find which is your talent and try to shine and be the best in what you want to do.
That's amazing advice. I love it. And I think some people hear that type of advice and they're just like, that's just like cliche, but it's true. You made it happen and you did the same thing.
Try to do something that people remembers forever.
And it's like you had some people say, oh, she got lucky. But it wasn't all about luck because you had to put yourself out there. You had to do the thing that made you uncomfortable, the painful thing, and you went and did it. So people need to go and do something hard and maybe something good will happen. Maybe they'll have their lucky break or whatever.
That took me 1.5 years to find my way, almost 2 years. And those years were really painful, but you have to keep going. It was painful, embarrassing. You feel like ridiculous that you don't make it, but you keep going. It was not for one day to another. I just told you the story in 1 hour, but really it was 1.5 years that took me to find my way, and I started to be successful.
That's great advice. And yeah, it's not going to happen quickly for anybody.
No.
It doesn't happen overnight. Everyone wants I want to make a viral video, or I want to be successful on YouTube in 1 year or one day. I want to make one video that gets 1 million views, but it doesn't always happen. No. And you have to be consistent.
Yes, and I used to work every day, 1.5, almost 2 years of failure. Painful. I wanted to quit. I didn't want to go back. I used to cry in my house because I felt Silva is like, yes, the people is going to say that I'm bad. No. But you keep going. And that took me for more of 25 years of successful.
Very nice. Well, I feel like that's a good place to wrap things up. Is there anything else that, obviously I'll link all your Instagrams, Twitter, all that kind of stuff in the notes so people can follow you, but is there anything else?
No, thank you very much for this opportunity, and please don't miss this podcast because it's really brilliant. You are very good. You are going to be really very successful.
Well,
I will follow you from today. I will follow you, and I'm going to promote you in the Spanish world.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Okay, no, thank you.
I very appreciate that. Okay. And hopefully, if anyone is out there in the Spanish audience, I appreciate you listening, and hopefully your English is better than my Spanish so you can understand.
Okay, thank you very much for this topic.
Of course. All right, we'll see you later, everybody.
Bye.
Wow, that was awesome. I love her story of how she literally got into the business because she was completing an assignment from her professor. It's so crazy. I love it. She's awesome. I love Veronica, but make sure you go follow her on Instagram and Twitter. Her username will be linked below. It is Vero Macías TV, VEROMACIAS TV. It's the same on both platforms. She's obviously, you already heard from her. Make sure you go follow her there. Also, I'm pretty excited. I hope she actually does a reboot of her show. I think that would kill it. I honestly think that would kill it on YouTube and on Instagram and everything. So I hope she does it. I really do. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. If you made it here to the end, I assume that is because you enjoyed this episode, and I have a couple of recommendations for you. So if you like this episode, I think that you would definitely love listening to episode 45 with Hillary Billings. Hillary is one of the most fascinating people that I know. She's like the epitome of what I love in a podcast guest. Probably because she's also a host herself. She does on-camera hosting, red carpets, behind-the-scenes interviews. She's a contributing writer for many big publications. She's former Miss Nevada. And after graduating from college, she was a full-time nomadic traveler blogging about her experiences along the way. And she's visited tons of really amazing and exotic places. No lie, I think Hillary has had some of the most fascinating stories that I've heard on my show. But I recommend this episode all the time, especially if people are like, hey, what should I listen to? What should I start off with? I really recommend that one. If you haven't listened already, you definitely should. And also, I know I mentioned Ryan McGinn a few times on this podcast. You should go back and listen to episode 46 I did with him. That was an awesome episode as well. Lots of great value packed into there. It's called Handsome Guy Secrets. But yeah, episode 75 is coming up next. That's pretty insane. 75 is a big deal. 3/4 of the way to 100. But my guest for legendary episode 75 is the one and only Tommy Breedlove. And Tommy's the real deal. Tommy is the founder of the Choose Goodness movement, which helps people and organizations increase their positive impact on the world while gaining meaning and attaining financial success at the same time. And he's kind of like a mixture of like Tony Robbins meets Tim Ferriss, like business kind of guru mixed with the spiritual kind of side of things. I love it. And during this episode, Tommy shared his rags to riches story of how he went from a prison, literally being a prisoner, to a very lucrative international financial consulting career. And at the age of 36, he had basically achieved massive financial success and prestige, and he basically felt totally unfulfilled. He lost all meaning and hope in his life, and he actually made the decision to walk away at the top of his professional career. And we talked about his story, how to create meaning in your own life, some of his crazy stories, like when he spent 4 days alone in the forest with no food. Honestly, this might go down in the books as one of the most powerful and inspiring episodes yet. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that one. It's coming up soon. If you want to support the show, best way to do that is to go to iTunes, rate it 5 stars. I know some people have been having problems writing reviews on iTunes and on the podcast app in particular. That really frustrates me because I know that having a lot of reviews is really important to a podcast success. So if you've tried to submit a review and it's not on there, if you can message me just to let me know that's what's happening, because I've been kind of frustrated with the lack of reviews on iTunes, to be honest, because the amount of listeners doesn't seem to match up with the amount of reviews that I've been getting. And it might be because literally people can't review the podcast for some reason. There's some technical problem on Apple's side of things. So if that's happened to you, please reach out to me and let me know, so at least I know that's what's going on. Also, if you want to follow me on social media, all my links are on my website, andrewdeitch.com. But that's it, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. I know I did. And I will catch you guys on episode 75. See you later, everyone.
Hey, this is mine. And I was saying, no, it's mine. No, it's mine. No, it's mine. No, this is my chicken. Did you pay it already? No, so this is from here, so it's mine.